your attention for the court now in session.
Respondents, GR number 275405.
Solemnly swear that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, now pending, I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. So help me God.
Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. Bagamat magtatapos na ang 19th Congress ay hindi ibig sabihin na madidismiss na ang impeachment complaint ni VP Sara Duterte. Dahil tuloy na tuloy pa rin ito sa 20th Congress. At ito ngayon ang pinaghahandaan ng mga prosecutors na taga-kamara. Ito ang naging pahayag ni Congresswoman Attorney Jinky Luestro sa kanyang interview. Hakbang ng Senado lalo na ang 17 senador at Senate President si Francis Chis Escudero na ipabalik sa Kongreso ang articles of impeachment for certification at verification ay unconstitutional di umano at irregular ayon sa dating Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. Aniya, ang Senado bilang impeachment court ay dapat maging impartial at hindi maging biased sa kabilang panig. Subalit kapansin-pansin na ilang mga senador na kapartido ng Vice Presidente ay lantarang tutol sa impeachment. At mismong si Senator Bato de la Rosa ay nag-motion para i-dismiss ang impeachment na sinuportahan naman ng ilang mga senador. Nanindigan sila ng impeachment kay VP Sara ay political na ayon pa kay Senator Amy Marcos ay hakbang upang sirain si VP Sara Duterte sa parating na 2028 presidential elections. Kinuwestiyon nila ang kahalagahan ng impeachment dahil nasa korte na di umano ang mga kaso ng Vice Presidente at doon siya nararapat litisin. Sa kaugnay na balita ay inaasahang magsumite ng sagot via email ang kampo ng Vice Presidente kaugnay sa writ of summons na inisyo ng Senado sa Vice Presidente. Ang hindi pagtugon dito ay nangangahulugan ng pag-contempt sa kanya ng Senado. Kasalukuyang nasa bansang Australia ngayon, si VP Sara Duterte upang sumuporta sa mga Filipino community doon ang Free Duterte Movement na naglalayong palayain si dating Pangulong Duterte na nasa ICC pa rin na kinuwestiyon ng palasyo sa pamamagitan ni PCO Undersecretary Attorney Claire Castro kung ang pagpunta doon ng Vice Presidente ay personal o business trip. Samantalang ang Office of the Ombudsman naman ay nagpadala rin ng sulat sa Vice Presidente upang sagutin ang mga issue tulad ng misuse of public funds na inirereklamo ng Kamara laban sa kanya.
Good morning po, Kong. Today po yung deadline ng Senate Impeachment Court sa kampo po ni VP Sara sa inisyu na writ of summons. Do you expect her camp to comply?
Yun naman po yung normal process dahil binibigyan sila ng non-extendable period of 10 days to file their answer at kami naman ay bibigyan ng non-extendable period of 5 days to submit our reply. So, I think magko-comply naman sila.
Ano pong significance ng compliance ni VP Sara dun po sa writ of summons?
Well, malaking bagay po to dahil sa normal po na proseso, pag nagkakanda ka ng pre-trial, nakapaloob dito sa mga answers yung kanilang mga ebidensya, yung mga depensa at pag nagganda ka ng pre-trial, doon minamarkahan yung mga exhibit ninyo, mga annexes ninyo. Kaya kung hindi siya makakapag-submit, wini-waive niya yung kanyang karapatan para makapag-submit ng maayos na reply. But in this case, since this is a sui generis at marami tayong mga nakikitang mga kakaiba, no, na kung minsan ay wala sa rules, siguro tignan po natin kung ano yung mga magiging hakbang na susunod.
Pero po, meron po bang magiging epekto sa House Prosecution Panel ang non-compliance ni VP Sara sa writ of summons?
Well, pag-aaralan namin kung ano yung kanilang magiging susunod na hakbang kung sakasakaling hindi sila magsasubmit. Pero kami sa prosecution, tuloy-tuloy lamang kami at kung ano man yung magiging aming susunod na hakbang, sisiguraduhin namin na hindi ito makakaapekto sa aming pagpepresenta ng mga ebidensya.
Regarding naman po sa directive po ng Ombudsman na mag-file po ng counter affidavit si VP Sara at ang respondents dun po sa allegations ng misuse ng confidential funds, kayo po yung complainant as the chairperson ng House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability and isa po sa miyembro ng House Prosecution Panel. Meron po bang issue kung kayo ang main complainant dun po sa mga allegations ng irregularities na reklamo sa Ombudsman?
Wala naman ako nakikita pong problema. Siguro ginawa lamang po ng Ombudsman ay inaksyonan nila yung committee report na sinumite po namin sa plenaryo at ito ay inadapt ng plenaryo. Ito ay welcome development sa amin dahil kung maalala po ninyo nung November, sinasabi po ng ating ombudsman na wala siyang nakikitang violation ng ating vice presidente. So sa pag-akto nila dito sa ating committee report, maaring nag-iba na ang kanilang opinion dito. Bagamat dun sa isinumite naming committee report, hindi pa nakapaloob dito yung mga ebidensya namin. Kaya this is masasabi namin na parang mabilis din yung naging pangyayari. Kasi kung maalala po ninyo, noong June 10, nung inadapt ng Congress ang committee report, at na-submit namin, natanggap ito nung ombudsman nung June 16. At nung June 19 or 3 days thereafter, pinasasagot na agad ang ating vice presidente. So medyo nagulat lang kami, but maasahan po ninyo na kami naman ay magko-comply dito. Kung sakasakali naman pong mag-submit ng kanyang counter affidavit ang respondent, kami naman ay humihingi ng ilang palugit para makapag-submit naman ng aming reply. So we will cooperate.
Last on my part na lang po. Although you welcome this development, yun pong ilang mambabatas ay nag-issue ng concern. For example, House Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro, nagbabala po siya ng whitewash dito po sa kinakaharap na reklamo sa Ombudsman ni VP Sara, given that the Ombudsman is a Duterte appointee. And also ML Party List Representative-elect Leila de Lima warned of sinabi niya po na out of character ni Ombudsman Martires yung pag-aksyon agad dito po sa reklamo. Do you share the same concern?
Well, masasabi po natin na na-surprise din kami dahil sa ganitong sitwasyon. Maalala ko nga po kasi ito pong ating Vice President ay impeachable officers. So nakalagay po doon sa kanilang, ang pagkakaalam ko po, doon po sa kanilang mandato, ay dapat antayin muna yung maging resulta ng impeachment bago ma-file yung mga kaakibat na kung sakasakaling mai-impeach yung vice presidente, saka pa lamang. So may ipa-file yung mga iba pang mga charges, no? Kaya medyo nasurpresa rin kami sa bilis ng trabaho ng ating ombudsman. But just the same, ito po'y wini-welcome namin at kami ay makikipag-cooperate fully. So ayaw naman po namin mag-insinuate kung ano ang nasa isip ng ating ombudsman. Baka kung makita po nila ang aming mga ebidensya, magbago ang kanilang isip. But the mere fact na inadapt nila yung aming committee report nang hindi pa man din naka-attach dun yung mga ebidensya, ibig sabihin po nun, malamang nakikita po nila, meron na pong probable cause.
Thank you, Rose. Sai Chua from Congress TV is now recognized.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Sir, balik
Po yung pwedeng mangyari dito sa usad dito sa ombudsman itong case nga, against Vice President Sara Duterte?
Well, to be honest with you, nung based po dun sa ating pagkakaalam po, dapat may fact-finding investigation pa po muna dapat ito eh. So, from there, saka lamang yung preliminary investigation. So, normally, pagka ganyan po, may committee report, ang gagawin po niyan, yung field investigation office nila, magkakandak ng fact-finding investigation. Kukunin lahat ng mga ebidensya, igagather lahat, bago pa lang magpuproceed sa preliminary investigation. So ito po parang nawala na yung fact-finding investigation, nag-proceed na agad sa preliminary investigation. But just the same, kami naman ay siyempre tayo naman makikipag-cooperate fully sa kung ano man ng nais ng ating ombudsman at mabigyan kami ng pagkakataon na makapag-submit ng aming reply at mga ebidensya na dapat na naka-attach dito po sa ating yung committee report na tinreat nila as complaint.
So sir, tingin natin parang minamadali ito ng ombudsman at bakit po kaya?
Ayoko naman pong mag-speculate, no? Pero tayo naman, basta tayo, we will cooperate fully.
Opo, and last na lang sir, paano po ba makaka-apekto itong gagawin yung pag-comply sa ombudsman dito naman sa preparation nyo for the impeachment trial?
Well, kung mapapanood sana ng ombudsman yung impeachment, baka at least dito sa impeachment, medyo marami pa silang madidiscover na ebidensya. Mas maganda for us, di ba? But just the same, kung talaga namang ipupursige agad nila to, so kami naman, kahit naman sabay, makikipag-cooperate naman po kami. We will make sure na pareho yan, ay aatinan po namin.
Opo, last na po, sorry sir. Para lang mas maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan, kapag sabay umusad yung impeachment trial at dun sa dun nga sa proseso sa ombudsman, ano po yung maaaring maging parusa sir sa pag na-convict si VP Sara, kung sakali lang sa impeachment trial at kung ma-convict din siya dito nga sa proseso naman ng ombudsman, just for context lang po sa ating mga kababayan, kasi baka sabihin nila bakit may dalawang proseso pang nagaganap, para lang maintindihan yung pagkakaiba nung magiging resulta kung sakali.
Okay. Sa impeachment trial po, dalawa lamang ang po pwedeng maging sentensya dyan. Unang-una, tanggalin siya sa kanyang sa kanyang posisyon, at pangalawa, yung tinatawag po natin perpetual disqualification to hold public office, removal at saka perpetual disqualification. Yun lang po ang po pwedeng maging desisyon dito po sa impeachment. Dito naman po sa ombudsman, hindi naman po siya dyan makukonvict kung hindi filing. Ifa-file po sa Sandigan Bayan. So, kasi pagka salary grade 27, pina-file po yung kaso sa Sandigan Bayan at doon po, parang ang ombudsman po, parang yan ang piskal. Yan ang tatay yung piskal, titignan ko may probable cause yung kaso o may basihan, at pagkatapos po niyan, pag nakita po nila na may probable cause o may basihan, isasampa po yan sa Sandigan Bayan para magkaroon po ng trial. So dito po, ang magiging sentensya na po dito sa Sandigan Bayan, it's either kung mapatunayang wala kang sala, ma-acquit ka, or kung meron, meron po itong kaakibat na imprisonment.
Salamat, Mela. Let's hear the next questions from Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA7.
Good morning po, sir. Sir, clarification lang yung sinasabi niyo na nasorpresa kayo. Were you referring to the committee or the prosecution panel? Dun sa ombudsman.
Well, nasurpresa po kami sa mabilisang aksyon.
Yes, sir.
ng
No, I mean, the question is, sino yung kami? Is that the committee
Prosecution
or...
po.
Opo, prosecution. Sir,
and the committee. Lahat po naman nagulat eh.
Opo. Sir, si PBBM po recently, sinabi niya na hindi siya nakikialam sa impeachment proceedings. Masyado na raw siyang maraming inaasikaso as president. Ano pong masasabi niya doon?
Ang impeachment po ay constitutional duty ng Senado at ng Kamara. Hindi po dito saklaw ang ehekutibo. So, tama po ang ating presidente. Hindi po, ito po ay constitutional duty ng dalawang Congress. Yung House at saka yung upper chamber, which is the Senate.
Pero sir, won't it be beneficial for the prosecution if he makes a stand like he did the first time na sinabi niya he stressed on accountability? Or better na wag na lang magsalita ang palasyo about impeachment?
Siguro sa akin pong pananaw na mas maganda na hayaan na lamang po natin yung palasyo na gampanan nila ang kanilang tungkulin bilang punong ehekutibo dahil marami rin pong dapat natutukan ang ating Pangulo.
Sir, may nabanggit din po si Senator-elect Erwin Tulfo last week na balak daw ng House na i-refile yung impeachment complaint sa 20th Congress. Is that being considered? Napag-usapan po ba ng PROSEC? And is that even possible?
Wala pong ganon. Wala po kami na pag-uusapang ganon. Because kung ganon po ang mangyayari, magkakaroon po ng bar. Meron po tayong tinatawag na one-year bar. O bawal po within 1 year, dapat isang impeachment complaint lang ang ifa-file.
Sir, napapag-usapan din po ba ng prosecution yung compliance with the second directive of the impeachment court, yung for the 20th Congress, to submit a certification?
Naipasa na po yung resolution, bagamat hindi pa po ito itatransmit sa Senado, pero ito po ay meron na pong judicial notice. So, kumbaga, ano na po to? FYI na sa Senado.
Sir, hindi na kailangan ng physical filing?
Sa akin pong paniniwala, hindi na dahil meron na pong judicial notice.
Thank you po.
Judge Ronald De La Rosa and seconded by Senator Judge Bongo. The motion is questioning the legality of the said impeachment complaint. We talk about its implications tonight, and joining us is former Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. Good evening to you, Justice Carpio, and welcome to The Big Story.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening to our viewers.
Right now, the Senate is suspended, the Senate, or rather the impeachment court, but they are debating this manifestation by Senator Bongo to dismiss the complaint altogether. Will the senators senator judges put that into a vote? And what is the legality of this motion?
Well, there is a pending motion by Senator Judge Bato to dismiss the case. They're discussing it, and my opinion is that that will be unconstitutional because the Constitution requires the Senate as an impeachment court to hear and decide the case forthwith, to decide the case, and there is no provision there which says that they can dismiss it without a trial. It says shall forthwith proceed with the trial and then decide the case. So they should just hear the case, call the witnesses, get the documents presented, and then decide it to dismiss, to acquit or convict. But they cannot make a judgment even before hearing a single witness or seeing a single document. That will be grave abuse of discretion. I mean, that's a denial of due process to the prosecution.
Justice, the Senate, is this correct? The Senate just constituted itself as an impeachment court and has not yet convened right now as we speak. What is the status?
It has constituted itself as an impeachment court. They are now discussing a motion presented to the impeachment court. So in effect, it has convened, but there is no trial yet.
All right.
May
Okay, go ahead, Sean.
I want to clarify because right before we went into this break, Justice, no, si Alan Peter Cayetano ay nagsuggest for Senator Bato precisely because of the reasons you cited that it would be unconstitutional. He suggested instead that Senator Bato amend his motion and to remand the articles back to the House. How is the Constitution on that move?
Well, it will, for me, it's also unconstitutional. There is no provision in the Constitution that they can remand it. They have to proceed with the trial forthwith and then make a decision.
So it's
So
a
let's-
I just don't see the reason for remanding it.
Can we go to the root of the motion or manifestation by Senator Bato, which is there were infirmities in the impeachment complaint tackled before the House, meaning the one-year prohibition was somehow violated by the House of Representatives.
Well, that should be brought up by the defense, by the impeached official, by VP Sara. The judges themselves cannot raise that because they are supposed to be impartial. They should not. That is favoring one side already. They're teaching or actually acting as counsel for VP Sara. They should allow VP Sara to raise that in his comment or answer.
Okay, but Justice, who can really decide on whether the one-year ban was violated? Because Senator Bato did cite a ruling by Chief Justice Renato Puno in Francisco versus House, which said that the Senate can decide the question of whether the one-year ban has been violated or not because it has primary jurisdiction over the case.
Well, the impeachment court can decide, but that can be questioned before the Supreme Court if it violates the Constitution.
But the Supreme Court has actually been very clear in its decisions that there was no violation. I mean, these
No, not in
precedents
this
are
case.
cited.
Not in this case. That has not been ruled upon by the Supreme Court yet, whether the one-year prohibition has been violated.
No,
There was a case before, in the case of CJ, Chief Justice Navide, on that issue. But this is factual, because whether the one-year prohibition has been violated or not is a matter of fact. In fact, I don't know yet because I haven't seen the documents. And that's precisely why Cayetano is saying we cannot decide that now because we don't have the documents here. We haven't seen any of the documents.
So in which case, am I hearing you right, Justice, that they should just start the trial so that the defense of the Vice President can just lay these arguments out at ilalabas na lahat ng
Yes.
dokumento?
Yes, all of these objections they're raising should be raised by the impeached official, by VP Sara's lawyers. Why are they acting like counsel for VP Sara?
But Justice, another topic of debate is whether this can cross over to the 20th Congress. And one senator even floated the question earlier, what assurance is there that this impeachment complaint can cross to the 20th Congress?
Well, my personal opinion is that it can cross over because the Constitution says that public officials shall at all times be accountable to the people at all times. That means a legislative calendar cannot extinguish accountability. At all times means it can cross over the succeeding Congresses. And that has been the case in the U.S. And I think that's very obvious, but
Oops. Justice
Anybody-
Carpio. All right. We lost you for a while there. Please,
I guess the last
Yes.
sentence?
yes, the
Yeah,
last sentence. May you
Yes. Well-
repeat that for us?
My personal opinion is that it can cross over, and I think that's the opinion of many people also. But those who don't agree to that can question any decision of the impeachment court if it dismisses it, or that issue actually will happen only will come out only when the 20th Congress will convene, whether they will accept a crossover. Because if they don't accept a crossover, or they accept it, we really don't know.
Justice, with regard to the House prosecutors, now, while we know that the Senate is, the senators have 6-year terms and they cross over by halves, it's not the same case for the House of Representatives. What happens to the prosecutors, right? Can they just simply carry over, or does that have to restart? I'm wondering about the technicalities here because I've been seeing some opinions also that people are questioning whether or not the House prosecutors still have the mandate after they adjourn sine die.
Well, the Speaker of the House will choose who will, if the old prosecutors will continue or if they will be changed. Some of them did not win re-election, so they will have to be changed. But it's the House will have to decide whether to continue with those prosecutors or not. But they will have to send prosecutors, whether new or old or a combination. It's up to them, but they have the authority to send their prosecutors.
Justice, just like us, I'm sure you were glued to the goings on at the Senate. What did you make of the session today?
Well, it looks